So to start out with solving these problems, we have to use the coordinates on the unit circle to solve each one. We have our degrees, our radians, and we have our 3 sine, 3 cosine, 3 tangent, and another tangent because they're just fun to do. So to start out, I have my sine 180 degrees for my first problem. So we'll go to the unit circle, and we will look for 180 degrees. And our sine values are the y values, and we know that we can use the coordinates to find the answer. So we use the coordinates of negative 1 and 0. Since sine is the y value, the answer will be 0. For our second problem, we have sine 120 degrees, which is in our second quadrant. And to do this, we look for our y value of these coordinates. So we have square root of 3 over 2. For our third problem, we have sine 7 pi over 6, which is in our third quadrant. And using this, we look for our y value, which is negative 1/2. Then we have cosine 30 degrees, which will be over here in our first quadrant. And our cosine is square root of 3 over 2 because it is our x value. For number 5, we have cosine 150, which is in our second quadrant. And we are looking for the x value, which we'll use the coordinates, when it'll be negative square root of 3 over 2. For our sixth problem, we have cosine 5 pi over 4, which is in our third quadrant. And we'll use this to look for our x value, which is negative square root of 2 over 2. Then, for our seventh problem, we're using tangent 5 pi over 6. So we're going to use the coordinates from 5 pi over 6. And we have negative square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. And when we come over here, we have 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2, negative, because tangent is y over x, or sine over cosine. So in doing this, we'll multiply by the reciprocal, so we'll have 1/2 times 2 over the square root of 3 equals 2 over 2 square root of 3, which 2's will cancel out. We can't leave the 3 on the bottom, so we have to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 3. When we do that, we get square root of 3 over 3 and put the negative sign there, so it's negative square root of 3 over 3. And we come back to the unit circle and we check, and it is the correct answer. So then we have, for number 8, we have tangent 3 pi over 2. And when we come to the unit circle, we look for 3 pi over 2, which is down here. And using that, we'll do negative 1 over 0, which is undefined. For number 9, we have tangent 7 pi over 4, which is in our fourth quadrant. And to do this, we take our x and y values of square root of 2 over 2 and negative square root of 2 over 2 and put our y on top of x. So we have negative square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2, and that gives us negative 1. Now for our final value, we have tangent pi over 2, and when we come over here, it is up here, and we put our y on top of our x value, so we have 1 over 0, and that gives us undefined.